Hello, am I audible now all clearly? I think I'm audible to all properly. Okay. So yes, now we are good to go. Screen, and this is my screen. So good. Screen visible? Okay. So now I will be shifting to the another screen. Whenever I ask you question, just answer in yes or no through unmuting yourself. Okay. No need to react. So first thing, this will be our app. So you can see how the app looks, SQL Query AI Assistant app. So before going through this app, we will be learning what do you mean by SQL. See, what do you mean by SQL? Okay, we are learning of prompt engineering as well, na? तर पहा, what is SQL? What is SQL? तर आता अनेरीनी बोललं what is SQL means simple आपण डेटाबेस सोबत रिॲक्ट करतो इज अ टाइप ऑफ अ क्वेरी लँग्वेज ओके तर हा ChatGPT काहीतरी जनरेट करून देतोय मला अ सिंपल डेफिनेशन आय विल बी रीडिंग SQL structure query language is a standardized programming language used for managing and manipulating relational databases. What is the meaning? It is managing what? Manipulating what? Relational databases. Okay, and it is essential for variety of database operation. So for now, no need to worry about this all thing. We will be seeing how our application will be doing all these things. Okay, so back to the main screen. Once again, the same question. How many of you know the SQL? Please let me know through the comment by typing Y that you know SQL. Just type Y. Okay, Vaishnavi. Others, do you know SQL? So I will be giving you some hint more. What do you mean by SQL? Because I know some students are from different branch as well. That's why I'm asking. Those who don't know, they type N. So if there are two, three students, I will be just giving you the idea of the SQL. That's good. That's good. Vedanshu, Atharva, and Sakshi. Okay, good. So I will be explaining you the little bit of the SQL. What do you mean by SQL? Okay, now see. Come to the chat GPT here again. So see, SQL means we are having the big database. Suppose we have the CSV file, Excel file, and we need to interact with that particular file. How we can interact? Is there any way? Is there any way to retrieve data from the databases? How it can be done? So there are different open source as well as some software that is a MySQL. Let me type here name. So don't know anything about the SQL. I'm typing some names. You just go through it. Okay. MySQL, then there is a PostgreSQL, okay, SQLite. See, these are the different mediums. Consider them as a medium where you can go and practice your SQL. You can see how we can interact with the databases. Okay. Now see, a very simple thing means we are writing a query to retrieve something. So you can see the querying data. So suppose I have the employee table. What if I have an employee table? So you can see a very simple query is written here. Select what name and age from what employee where age is greater than 30. So this is a SQL query. I hope you got some point. What is the SQL query? Very simple. Suppose I want to insert some data into the table. Okay. I want to insert a data into a table. So you can see inserting, adding new record to a table. What should I can do? I can do that. Insert into employees. Employees your table. And what you want to insert, that you need to particularly mention there. And their values. That is what the particular name you want to insert there. So in this way, a very simple thing is related to the SQL. It's not a very big deal and very hard. Just you need to go through. There is a very good platform, W3 schools. You can see in a very simple way. A very simple way you will be going to learn through this article itself. What do you mean by SQL? See, some mention. I will also mention you some name that was a MySQL, SQL Server, MS Access, Oracle, Sybase, Informix. So different database systems. Okay, you can for all there will be some little bit difference, but the structure of query will be same. Okay, so you can see the same thing. What can SQL do? That is important for this project. You need to know what SQL can do. SQL can execute what queries against the databases. Means for the particular database, it will be going to execute a query. It can retrieve data from a database. It can insert. It can update. It can delete. It can create new one. New table also can be created, and the procedure can be also maintained. There is a view. This all thing can be done through a simple SQL queries. I hope a little bit idea got through all of you. Yes or no? Little bit. What do you mean by SQL? Do you got some point about the SQLs? Please let me know through comment by typing Y. that you got some little bit idea of the SQL. What do you mean by SQL? Yeah, good. What about others? Hmm. So see now, what our application now do? That's the important. So it will be a very good application for those who don't know the SQL. So some students are there that who don't know the what do you mean by SQL. So see how our application do that particular things in a very simple way. Let go through our application. So what is our application? This is SQL Query Generator web app using what? Google Gemini. Suppose I am also that person that I don't know what is the SQL query and what is this all, but I know the English. What I know? I know the English. Okay. So I have a database given. Consider means I have a database in my system, but I don't know how to interact with the database with the help of a SQL query. So I have the database name as a car. Okay, consider car as a database. So I will be writing a very simple thing in front of you in car table. Okay, in car table, retrieve. Retrieve means to get. Okay, retrieve name and model of the car. See, I am also that person. I don't know how what is the query to write for this particular thing. How can I get that particular information with the help of a SQL query? But I know the English language, so I am providing this to the my app. So what my app will be doing now? It will be doing the thing. It will be providing me the query as well as an example what the query will be doing, and with the example of means explaining the code as well. See now, generate SQL. So you see here, I got the generated SQL query code. So if I type this query into my particular system, that will be MySQL or whatever it will be. So I will be getting this type of output from my database. Okay, this is an example given here. So what is the query? Select name model from what? Car. Okay, and this is the sample output, and sorry, this is what example of a input data frame. Okay, it is consider this as an example of an input data frame. So it is giving us an example. So it is having name as well as a model, and from that output it is generating, as well as the application is providing the explanation as well. See, retrieve the specific column, in this case name and the model, then what from we are getting it, it is also explaining that, as well as the detailed explanation given here, how it works and how we get the particular data. Okay, so those who know SQL, let me know, is this query correct or not? Those who know SQL, the output I got, is this SQL query correct or not? Please let me know, is this SQL query is correct or not for that particular statement provided by me? Yes or no? Please let me know. Be fast. Okay, Dhanashri, it's correct. What about others, those who know SQL? Renuka, good. So the basic working of application is that it is working on the text to SQL, means whatever text we are providing, we are getting the SQL query for it, as well as explanation with the help of a sample example of the particular input whatever it is generating by its own. Okay, I hope agenda is clear what the application will be doing. Yes or no? So I can go with the coding part and the setup. Let me know through the comment by typing SQL. It will be good now. Let me know the agenda of the project is clear, so we can begin. Okay, so good, that's good. Now see, first thing, most important thing, how many of you done with the setup part? That you are done with the setup part, that is what? Creating an environment setup done. Okay, what about others? Environment setup. So I will be beginning with the direct with the code, it will be good for you all. Okay, environment setup, then your .env, created your API key. So see, these are the steps. First is our environment, create environment, then your .env file, then application structure. Okay, let me add one more thing, that is requirement .txt. Okay, so please go through this all thing and please complete it. And in .env, Google API key. How many of you have Google API key with you? Google API key. I hope all you know how to create it. Yeah, good. So see now, let me go back to the screen, our code screen. So first thing is to create an environment. So in my case, I am in the folder in what my environment is created. In that I am also means one more folder, subfolder you can say, and in that subfolder the name is text to SQL app. So already I have my environment with me, so no worry for me. But for you, if you created a new folder, please create an environment. Okay. And the another thing is that first .env and your Google API key. Go and do this particular first thing and let me know after you completed this thing. Okay. .env part. .env part. Google API key setup done. Just react and let me know. .env Google API key setup. React and let me know. Okay. So next part is requirement.txt. I will be providing you requirement.txt, and also one more thing to mention here is that you can see the particular version is also written. So why it is written? So for some application version also matters. Okay, so that's the thing. In this application we'll be going with the version as well. So after doing this requirement.txt, please let me know through the comment by typing y. Be fast. Okay, that you are done with the requirement.txt and you install the requirement.txt. After doing this, just type y and let me know so I can move further. Be fast. Okay. Okay, Aneri done. Good. Aneri, what about others? Simple thing what we are following from the last previous project, the same thing we are continuing. Vedanshu done. Good, Vedanshu. Others, so I can move further. See now, uh, let me also explain you one more thing to comment here. That is, see what will be the flow of our code. Okay, so user will be going to come at. Let me zoom it. Let me close app. Let me close this our app now. We'll again run it after the completion of it. See here, focus here. A very important thing for you is our web app. So user will be going to come at a web app. The user will be providing its question. After that, what will be happening? User will be coming with the question, and the question will be passed in the form of a prompt. Okay, in the form of a prompt, and that prompt will be going to pass to what your LLM model. LLM model. Sorry, spelling mistake. LLM model, and that LLM model is which? That is which we are using here, and you know the model what we are using here. That is a Gemini Pro. Okay. Then what will be the further flow? The further flow will be SQL query. What it will be generating? The SQL query will be generated. Okay, and user will be getting some response. User will be getting some response. Okay, and that response contains, and that particular response, let me write in this way, in the proper way. Response having three parts. First is that first will be your SQL code generated. It will be providing you SQL code generated. It will be doing this first task as a response. The second will be your sample output example. It will be showing you the sample output, how this query will be implemented there. Sample output example. And third part will be your what? Explanation of the code. Explanation of the code. Explanation of the code. So I hope the working of the application is clear to all. So in this way our application will be working. A basic flow chart in front of you. Is it clear what will be the flow of application? Let me know. Good, good. So back to the main screen. Sorry. Mm. So done with the requirement.txt and all further things. So can I start with the code now? Yes or no? Can I begin with the application, that is our app.py? Yes? Anyone unmute yourself and let me know. Done with all these things so I can begin, or just type Y. What about others? Be interactive. It will be good for you as well as me. So see now, we will begin with the code. Okay, where is the code? I hope this part is clear. Let me take this part here. Mm, I will provide you as well as I also tell you that create one file, name it as whatever you want. Please name it. I will writing it. I will name it as suppose file.txt, where it contains some this type of explanation. Okay, basic example as well as explanation of the code. So let's begin with the code. First four lines, a very simple four lines. All of you know that is first one import Streamlit as st. So we are using Streamlit framework to what create a web app in Python. It also allows for what creating interactive UIs easily. So we know Streamlit. Second, Google Generative AI as Gemini. Whatever thing we write as here as it is a alias. Okay, so we are using here further. You can see instead of writing this whole name, we are just writing this particular thing here. So it will be helping us to write a modular code. Okay, simple. We are making our work simple. And see, in a few lines of code, we are creating such type of application. Now see why we import this. Reason is it's a hypothetical library. What does it mean? So if you want to use generative AI services of a Google, we need to import this. If you're not importing this, we can't use. Third one, that is to load environment variable from where .env file. This is our .env file. Why we need .env file? For the security purpose. If there are some security key, API key, some password, login credentials, all things are mentioned in what? .env file. Okay, so we load it, and when we are pushing code on any server or suppose on the GitHub, we ignore .env file. Fourth one is your import operating system. Reason for importing the operating system is that for interacting with the operating system, mainly with what your environment variables. So suppose we are using some JPG image and this all these things. So for that particular interaction, we are using this thing. Okay, so let me provide you with these four lines of code, that is import. So see now, uh, go and do this part and we'll be moving further. First four lines, that is a basic thing, that is importing the basic requirements. Clear? Yes, clear or not? Please let me know if I'm audible to you now. I'm not understanding. Acha, you're reacting good. So I can move further now. Further thing is that about the API. So see now about the API. So we are loading the API key from where? That is a .env. Okay, so this is a .env. So the same line, what we are doing from the last four projects, that how we can load that particular thing, that is a load .env. API key is equal to os.getEnv, and we are loading the API key. Okay. So what does this thing do? It loads the environment variable from the .env file, and here in the API key, we fetches the API key from where? The environment variable. We are fetching the API key from where? The environment variable. So this is the second part. Is it clear? Clear. So same thing what we are doing from last four projects. Let me know. Done with this part? Okay, Dhanashri, good. Good, Atharva. So please, while interacting, if you are not getting point, let me know. Okay, I'm taking you through a very simple steps. So moving further, now we will see the simple setup, and here what we are doing from the last four applications is that we are writing the Streamlit application code at the end. But now let me show you some different thing, and here there it will be a somewhat interactive application. See now. So before moving, the first thing we need to check that is our API key. Okay. So if our API key is not found, we need to add the API key to a .env file. So it's a basic what we can say try and error from our end. So we are checking from our end. So if this thing is not there, then why need to run the application? I hope you're getting the point. So if this is the thing, If you're not having the API key in your .env file, why need to run the whole application? If you don't have, just provide this statement in your application. If you want to see how exactly this works, let me show you how this works. Okay, so let me show you how this works. Suppose this is my .env file and I don't have the API key. So why I need to run the application? See now, when I run this application in front of you, Streamlit run app.py, see, we'll be getting some error. So you can see the error, API key not found, please add your API key to a .env file. I hope it is clear why we are using this particular line. Okay, so let me uncomment it and save it. Now is it clear why we are doing this thing? Yes or no? What about others? Good. So that's the reason we are checking. If and else basically used for the conditional statements to check that it works or not. See now, in the else part, if this thing is working, then we'll be going to else part, means we have our API key running in a proper way. Okay, so in the else part we will start with the configure of our Google Generative AI. So what do we mean by configure? Let's see. We are configuring the Google Generative AI with the API key. See now, GenAI.configure API key is equal to API key. What is this API key equal to API key? Because we are passing this to our model object GenAI.generative model, that is our Gemini Pro. We are using here Gemini Pro model, that is our LLM model. I hope it is clear to all this particular part of code. We are doing this all in the else part. Okay, now we are in the else. See, we are in the else, and this is our API key, where from the API key is coming from here, and that is in the .env, which is a Google API key. And the further part will be of the Streamlit, which I will be explaining you in a very simple language. Okay, so this will be the part of a Streamlit application. See now. Okay, so where is this? Acha, we came up to here. So I hope it is clear that we have initialized the model to use the Gemini Pro, which is our generative model. Okay. And further, we will be moving with the Streamlit application. Is the part clear to all for this particular time? Yes or no? Good. Vedanshu, Dhanashri. What about others? Others are just watching or doing the code side by side. Atharva. I hope you are enjoying the video. Yes or no? It's getting bored. It's getting bored. Not na? Let me know. Let me know through comment. Are you getting understanding of the code? I'm taking you in a very simple and easy language. Is the speed good? Means I'm explaining you slow, or you want to explain me more slow? Please let me know. Okay, I hope speed is good then. So let's move further. See now, we are here now. So we are using now Streamlit functionality. So see how we can use the Streamlit functionality. Okay, very simple thing. Setting web app page name and selecting web layout, that is the optional part. Optional part means let me run application again. So see, my goal is to explain your code in a detailed manner. Okay, important thing is that you need to know the particular line of code, what the line is doing. So what this line is doing, see here, it is an optional part as well. Why it is optional? Because it just sets the title of the web app and optionally a page icon you can see here. This is your text to SQL app. Sorry, you can see here my arrow. Here you can get the app name as a text to SQL app and the icon of a Streamlit. This is the thing the first line is doing. Okay, it says the title of the web app and optionally page icon. Now we'll be moving further by creating a layout. So see now, we are creating the layout. So we have written here col1 comma col2 is equal to st.columns. Here values are given. Remember, we are creating a two column layout where the first column takes what? 30% of the width and the second takes 70%. So it can be changeable. If you want some another layout, just go try and error basis. You can change and you can see. What I found, it is good for me, so that's why I selected. If you found something more better, you can go and select that for you. Okay. Further, we have said that col1.image text to SQL logo.jpg. So I have an image downloaded. You can also download your image and set that image name into this particular braces or the brackets. Okay, so you will be getting the image there loaded. And in the call to markdown, when I run the application, I hope you were able to see that all these things. That is the particular a very good thing. You can see display a markdown header in the second column, and you can see the color. You can see the color like a rainbow. Okay, that is the SQL Query AI Assistant app. You can see the coloring of this name. You can change on your basis, no worries. Then third thing is that st.write blue color you can change again. This is a SQL query generated web app using Gemini. Means we are displaying our subheading below the column. We are displaying our subheading below the column. This is our call one. This is our call two. We are adjusting them according to us. That is our setting the columns size properly, then providing into in the proper format. Okay, I hope it's looking good. You can change according to you. Further, okay, before moving further, let oh where is this part? Yeah, here. Let me copy this and provide to you. I want you to do something more better than me. Okay, I want you to do some more better than me or more better application. Okay, up to this point of time all things are clear. Yes or no? Yes or no? So whenever I'm asking question, please be a little bit interactive as well as fast. Okay, good, good. So moving further, the further part is input and what you can say buttons. Means whenever we are taking input, so we should provide a button to submit as well. So this is the part we are doing. So see, in the query input, I'm using the functionality of a Streamlit. So there is a text area. You can see a inbuilt functionality of the method which I am using to create this text area. You can see this is the text area. Okay, and I'm also mentioning the message. Please enter your prompt using simple English. Here you can see please enter your prompt using simple English. So user can enter here, and when the user hit the button generate SQL, it will be the application will be going to start the working. Simple thing. What we have done here: create a text area for a user input and create a button that user can press to generate SQL. Okay. Now here are some very important things you need to note. That is your supportive information. You can name whatever you want, but I name the supportive information. That is supportive info 1, supportive info 2, supportive info 3. What does it mean? It means that string containing instruction for the AI model on how to generate the SQL query, sample output and example. Sorry, explanation. You can say explanation. So these are our prompt. You can say, okay. So this is our instruction for the AI model. So which are we are interacting with the Gemini Pro, that is our LLM model. So those are the instructions to our Gemini model. So see now, first one is based on the prompt text, create a SQL query and make sure to exclude in the beginning at the end. So what does it mean? So when I will run the application again, you will be going to see that thing. Second supporting information is that based on the SQL query code, create an example input data frame. I hope when I run the application first time, let me run it again by writing some query. So one query, let me take query from here. We'll be taking from here. Okay. Question, is there any question here? So we can take any question. Mm, so here is some select all customer from Mexico. Okay. So let me copy it and let me provide it here. A simple example I just taken. You can see I got a query and now I will be explaining you. You can see here output as well. I'll be getting this. Okay, this is the explanation here. So see now, select star from customer where country equal to Mexico. Yeah, we are getting a query correct. Now let me explain you the code. First is the support info, which is creating the SQL query. You can see the query is created in the front of you. Okay, this is the SQL query, the generated SQL query code. Okay, so this is our first support info, which is doing the particular thing. I hope first part is clear. The second supportive information is doing based on the SQL query code, create a sample input data frame before the SQL query and means whatever the code is applied as well as the output data frame after the SQL query is applied. You can see we have the sample data base created by our LLM and here is the output. So two of them, that is a Jane Smith as well as who as well as Mary Jones. The both belongs to the Mexico. So after the query is run, this particular query is run. So from this particular data is extracted and it is true. That is correct. You can see for the customers whose country is Mexico, we are getting the answer correctly. So this is the task of our Sapoto Info 2. Now Sapoto Info 3 explain the SQL query in detail without any example output. So see now, we are getting the explanation. Why we need to use where clause, what is the reason of using it, what is the execution of the particular thing. I hope in the detailed manner I have explained you. Hope these points are clear to you all. Yes or no? Yes or no? Be fast, please let me know. Also, let me provide you the code as well. Okay. I hope it's interesting. Yes or no? I provided you. Yeah, provided. So let's move further. Now we have come at the end, and that's a very simple thing that we are doing from the last all the application. That is, after submitting, what things need to be done. See now, after submitting, if you just hit the submit button, what things need to be done. So if the submit button is clicked, the following steps are executed within a spinner. Spinner means what do you mean by spinner? Indicating the progress. Spinner means where is application? Oh, this is application. So let me take some another query from the SQL here again. Any another query. So let me copy this. Came to our app. You can provide any English statement, normal statement as well. Okay, any simple line as well. So you can see spinner. What is the spinner? So this is a spinner generating. Okay, our spinner will be going to start, and we'll be getting the output. So come back to the code. So spinner will be starting to the generating mode, and sorry, generate SQL query. So see now here. First part is that response is equal to model don't generate content, and it will be going to means what the parameters will be passing here, that will be support to info 1 will be passing this support to info 1 as well as a query input. Okay, whatever query user will be entering, whatever query user will be entering in the text area will be passing that. Okay, and this line, what does this line mean? This means as a heading. Okay, I hope it is clear. And the code will be provided, whatever code is being generated, it will be provided in the form of the text. So it generates the SQL query based on the input prompt and supporting information, and further it will display the header for the SQL query, and the generated SQL query will be displayed. So the simple meaning of these three lines. Same for the further it will be same. You can see the whole code is same. Just what we are changing here, we are changing support info to response.txt, which is coming from here. This will be the response which we are passing here, and the same thing we are generating response2.txt. Then further again we are passing same thing here, just we are changing support info 3 and we are changing it. So what we are doing in this case, generate example output. Here we are generating an example output based on the SQL query. Which is your SQL query? This is your SQL query which we are passing here. Okay, and the same thing displaying the header and generating the example that display will be going to display on application. Same for the third part, we are passing support to info 3, and you can see same, we are passing this response here only because we want the explanation of the code. In this case we want the example, in this case we want the explanation of the code. Okay, so again we are doing the same thing, we generate an explanation of the SQL query, and after this all things are done, our code is also completed. That is a not a very simple application. Where is Google Meet link? Acha. So this was a very simple last part in front of you, and after doing all this thing we are done with the code, and you can see our application how nice it looks. Okay, a very good application. Instead of writing this much, if you don't know anything, just I'm providing, I have a table. See, normal English, I have a table, name players, name players. So I want to see players score more than 100 and their name. See, I'm writing something any in English. So on that basis, it will be generating the query name, age, and what we can say name, age, and birth date. Okay. So see what it will be doing is it will be going to generate or not. Let's see. So you can see I got the result. Select name, age, birth date, score from players where score greater than 100. You can see example as well. I got C. Those score are more than 100. That only we'll be getting as output if we run this query. A very good explanation is also given. I'm taking a simple example, but if you're good in SQL, you can provide some difficult prompt in English, and you will be getting that result as well. So this was the application of today's what we have done. So what does this code provide? A complete flow. Complete flow for what? Generating SQL queries from natural language input. Natural language means our English, what we talk. And what it showcased? It showcased that generated a query, a sample output, and an explanation of the query using what? Google Generative AI services, and streamed it for our web interface. So this was all about the today's application. Response 3 is not there in what? Acha, in this copy I pasted is not there. Okay, let me provide. So this part is not there, na? Okay. So we are done with the project. How was the project? Let me know through the comment. And how was the today's session? Please let me know. Hope you got lot many things. And those who know SQL, they need to learn from this app only. You will be learning all the things through this application. And refer the W3 SQL tutorials. It was an easy project, but a very helpful project. I hope. Was it helpful? Was the project helpful? Did you get something that from writing means we are writing just 50 to hardly 40 to 50 lines of code, and what the miracles we are doing? Are you getting? Yes, good. So how many of you are doing with me side by side? किती जण करत होते साइड बाय साइड कोड सोबत? गुड अथर्व, अनेरी, very good, very good. So yeah, that was all about the today's video. I hope you enjoyed the session. How was the session? That's question. No one answer. कसा होता session आजचा? Great one. Amazing. Very informative and great. Good to hear. Okay. So I hope many of you taken the screenshot from the Meet as well as application screenshot, Meet screenshot. So it will be helpful for means when we are posting on the LinkedIn, and this all this thing can be done at your end. Also upload it on GitHub, but don't upload same application as it is. Modify it using what? Using what? Where is our GPT? Use GPT to modify it because I've taught you how it can be done. Okay, through the GPT prompt engineering. Could you please conduct one session on how to deploy this application? Okay, sure, it will be done. To deploy this application, you should know the GitHub means I will be showing you the very simple deployment using GitHub and Streamlit, how it can be deployed and how anyone can use that particular link, and that application what you have created, it will be going to be run. Okay, Danishri, it is clear. We'll be showing you this as well. But before this, upload this project to the GitHub. Further things we'll be explaining you. No worries. Good. So just take the screenshots of the meet if you want. If you want particular thing to take as a screenshot of the code or what, just take it. Let me scroll slowly. So if you have not taken, also code will be provided you, but it will take some time. Okay, in some time it will be going to be provided to you. And yes, there is nothing to more to take. You can take a screenshot of this particular thing. You need to also mention. Okay, this is the part. Okay. So if you taken the screenshot, just anyone please unmute and let me know so we can stop the meet. Done? Good. So this is the basic general flow of the application React. how the application work. That is the web app, then question, then prompt, then goes to LLM model. And a Gemini Pro, then SQL query in the form of a response. We are getting these three. That is coming from a responsive information, which we are passing to the AI model. Okay, so we are done with the application. That was all about the today's session and the tutorial. So you can leave the meet. We are done with the part. Any question you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave the meet. Bye bye. Have a good day. Any question, please ask. Otherwise, leave the meet. No worries. Yeah, bye bye. Bye, Atharva, Vedanshu.